Welcome to my channel, and it will be a short video about my new coloring books and new art supplies. I got a very small package with my purchases from Amazon, and in that package there were my new two coloring books. You know that in the beginning of January new book from Mythographic series was published. It's a book by Joseph Kattenbank, and of course I had to purchase it. First of all, it's my first book by Joseph. I already have 3 books from this series, but I own books by Fabiana Attanasio and Alexandra Fusi, so of course I was also interested to try pictures by Joseph. And also, you know that I love to color winter pictures and I love to color animals, so of course I had to purchase this one. Also, I am subscribed to the Facebook profile of Joseph Kattenbank, and he shared his opinion about all those hidden objects. He also dislikes them. He also didn't agree with the publisher's idea to add them, and he mentioned that he tried to add as invisible tiny objects as possible, and he tried to select objects at least somehow connected to the idea of the picture. So it was another reason why I decided to purchase this book. And indeed, when I looked at the pictures, I wasn't disturbed by the hidden objects. And of course it's great that all the next books in this series, which will be published in the end of the spring and in the beginning of summer, they will be completely without those hidden objects. Of course I will do a flip through if needed for this book. I think that already there are several flip through of these books, and of course I plan to start coloring here as soon as possible. Next one is by Herb Leonhardt. If you follow my channel, you probably know how much I love style of Herb Leonhardt. I already own Fantasy Nouveau, Legendre Nouveau. I am totally in love with Herb Leonhardt's style and subjects which he selects for his pictures. Well, I'm not a huge fan of the quality of these books. I think that he published books himself and then sell them via Amazon and Etsy. But this one is slightly improved comparing to first 2 books. It has the same quality of the cover, the same thickness and whiteness of paper, but if 2 first books they were double-sided, this dragon book is one-sided, and I would say that indeed it's an improvement. All books by Herb Leonhardt I want to color from the first until the last page. It's not very often when I love all the books in the coloring book, all the pictures in coloring book. So it's important for me to save all pictures, and you know that I'm heavy-handed, and when I color on the one side in Herb Leonhardt book, I have to think about how to save picture on the back. So when I discovered that Dragon Nouveau now is one-sided, I was crazy happy. First, I think that Herb Leonhardt's style is quite convenient for coloring with alcohol markers, and I definitely will try to use them. So it was a good purchase, I think. You know that I love dragons, and now I hope that it will be a good reminder that in my first books by Herb Leonhardt I colored only 3 pictures probably. I definitely need them to keep them somewhere near my working table and to color in them much more frequently because I absolutely love his art. I also will film a separate flip through for this book. Next, I purchased not an art supply but another something for my hobby. In the end of December, in January, there are good sales for Christmas goods, and as I love to sew Christmas things during the whole year, it's a good time for me to purchase something new for my Christmas tree. But this felt stocking, it will be a present, so that's why I selected stocking with the plain, and also you can do a separate a Christmas tree from felt, also in the shape of plane, and I hope that during this year I will manage to stitch it and it will be a good gift. It's again by Bucilla. I absolutely love this felt kits by Bucilla, and I always have a huge pleasure when I do such kits. Now art supplies. First of all, I finally managed to purchase ivory Posca. You know that my favorite size is PC1M, and they both are in such size. And I agree with many colorists that sometimes a white Posca is too bright, too intense for many pictures. Sometimes it's better to have something more delicate. That's why I really appreciate beige and ivory Posca. In December I was lucky to find on Amazon individually sold beige Posca, which it was possible to deliver to my address, and finally I also managed to purchase ivory. They are quite similar, so any one of these two colors will be very helpful when you do fair skin tone and when you need to mask black lines, when you color fur. Also very helpful for animals, so I am crazy happy that now I added to my stash ivory marker, because my old one, it was totally ended already. It's not dried, but I used it a lot, so it was finished and I really needed a replacement. Next I purchased this set of tiny brushes. They are quite helpful when you need to work over black lines with paint, and I do it quite frequently when I don't have a marker in matching color. I have bigger variety of colors in my acrylic paints, in my gouache paints, so quite often I use tiny brushes with nice thin tips and paint to mask black lines. So I decided that I definitely need more such branches and brushes, and I also think that they will be helpful for my other hobbies. Next, I have another set of Tule art markers. You probably remember that in December I purchased green set, this one. I already made a very quick video about my first impression about Tule art markers. My first impression was quite positive. First of all, I loved their color range. In this set I have various greens, cool, warm and natural greens from light to dark shades, and I was happy with the size of the nib because they have the same size as my PC1M Posca, and with the opacity and thickness of ink inside. And I also love that color of the cup, pretty well match color of the inks inside. Oh, you can see the real color of acrylic ink here in the tiny window, so they are comfortable to use. And I decided that I want to have huge, bigger range of colors. I want to expand my variety of colors. First I was thinking about blue and violet colors, but then I noticed this set. This one is called Skin and Earth colors. I really love what I saw on the cover here. I think that all those powder pink, beige, light brown, also this muted green colors, olive green colors, these interesting warm gray colors, they all will be quite helpful. I am glad that we don't have many bright markers. I have bright markers in Posca. What I need is this more muted and pastel colors. That's why I selected it. So now let's open it. Sorry for the noise. I will try to do it quickly. Just like on previous set, on the box we have palette of the markers with their names. I don't know if names are printed on markers, we will see. Sorry guys for the noise. I know that it's annoying, but And extra nibs are included. That's also a very good thing. Well, I do love what I can see here. From my previous experience, this cap could have quite nice impression about what we have inside, so I hope that I indeed will have such an interesting colors. These muted blues are quite beautiful. And let me check what we have. So again we have this short instruction how to use them, how to activate them. Well, actually we don't have their names printed. And how I supposed to find which color is one? Well, that's probably the only downside of such markers. They are slightly different. We don't have this window where we can see the level of inks. So they are a little bit different from green colors, but they again may notice opaque ink, water-based. I hope that at least they will behave similar to the previous markers, at least the tip is the same size. I don't think that I will be doing a full swatching here, because you know that when you activate acrylic marker, there is bigger risk that the tip will be clotted with acrylic ink. So I simply will be using them one by one when I need such markers, such colors for my paintings. But at least I already can see that there are several markers that can be very helpful when you do fair skin tones. Also quite nice blue colors, which I absolutely love. I would say that they are more blue-gray and slate-gray, very helpful. I don't have such colors. This one also I do love. Anyway, I am quite happy with this purchase, and I do think that with this variety of colors my pictures will look much better. I am lazy sometimes to mask black lines if I know that I don't have a matching color of Posca, so I need to use paint or to cover lines with paint and then with some pencils. But when I have such convenient markers, I hope that my pictures will look more like paintings without those black lines. And my last purchase, it's watercolors. I decided to treat myself with glitter watercolors. Well, I'm not a big fan of adding glitter, stickers or other things to my pictures. You probably noticed it. But from time to time I do love to use my Coloro and Fine-Tech pearl and metallic paints for the backgrounds. But Coloro and Fine-Tech, they are beautiful, they are vibrant, but they show their beauty mostly on the black paper or when you mix them with dark colors of regular watercolor. Usually when I do backgrounds in Hanna Carson, I select couple of regular watercolors, mostly in dark colors, indigo, Indus blue, dark sepia, and then when you drop metal or pearl watercolor on such background, they behave really well, they create beautiful effects. But I saw on YouTube several reviews which stated that this similar watercolors, they also can be beautiful on the white paper, and I decided that I will give them a try. It's Chinese watercolors, and I think that this one is branded artsy, but there are many similar sets marketed by other brands. You remember probably a couple of years ago it was a huge hype on YouTube. I think that it was Paul Rubens watercolor, and they look quite similar to this one. Another reason why I liked this set is because I do love this turquoise color. It's like Tiffany or turquoise, but I absolutely love it. Package is also quite lovely. It's a very traditional Chinese palette for the watercolors. I know that many brands purchase such palettes from Chinese manufacturers and they just brand them under their names. For example, Ukrainian watercolors Rosa Gallery, they have the same size and shape of the palette but in deep blue color and branded by Rosa. So the palette is quite traditional, very well known for me. Inside we have a little bit about artsy brand printed palette for 48 glitter colors. Then we have included palette with numbers and paint names but on the watercolor paper, so when I will do swatches I will use this palette, so I really appreciate that it's printed on the good paper. And finally here we have paints. I would say that I purchased it just because it looked so attractive when I saw pictures. They look like tiny gemstones because they have this glitter, maybe even holographic cover. I hope that paint inside will be at least slightly similar to these beautiful shiny colors which we have on the cover. Also, the brush was included. During the last years, I think that I almost completely started to use regular brushes instead of the water brushes, but this one, it looks actually nice. I will try it and I hope that it won't be leaking, so maybe I will also use it. But of course, most of all, I am eager to start testing these paints. I would really appreciate if some of these beautiful colors will work well on the white paper, so probably it will be the subject for my next video when I will be swatching of these beautiful paints. They are half pens, not the full size, but I know that usually they are very economical, and as I don't intend to use them very frequently, I think that if they are for decent quality, it will be a purchase which will serve me for the whole life. Well, I am glad that I purchased something which definitely will improve my mood. You know that due to some circumstances in the real life, we won't talk about politics here, but something is not very good here. We are a little bit disturbed, so it's good to have something to distract your mind from all the disturbing things around. I'm happy with my new purchases. I hope that I will do videos with the flip through of the books and with the testing of the art supplies. Thank you for watching, and of course thank you for your support. I read all your messages and I appreciate your concern and your kindness. I will see you very soon in my next videos.